Hey, everybody, welcome to the Be Insightful in Technology podcast. I'm your host, Shikirah, and I'm here with AJ Malik, who is going to talk about AI integration, how it works with businesses, and even describe what he gets to do on a daily. So let's hop straight into the episode to gain some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to do what? Be Insightful in Technology. So, AJ, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and plug in any social medias that you would like to share with our listeners?
Thank you for having me here. My name is Ajay and or AJ, either is fine. And I've been working for many, many, many years. All right, like 30 over 30 years now. I was my when I did start computer science bachelor's, I was the second batch in IITs.
Oh, wow.
It was really new. Okay. It was like, okay, we are doing computer science. And but luckily I'm in this field. And I did my final year project was in AI. After that, nobody talked about AI, and now AI
Wow.
art again. Okay. And,
Pioneer in the space.
I know. And to tell you a little bit, I have worked for companies like Motorola, Cisco, Google, and Qualcomm, and then I have my own startup. This is my third startup. This startup is only focused on AI. We are providing AI to help companies improve their products, productivity, or their customer service.
Okay, so we're going to dive deeper into what that looks like a little bit later in the podcast. So, what is some social media? Where are you at? LinkedIn. LinkedIn is primarily
LinkedIn.
used here. All
LinkedIn.
right.
I'm a primary LinkedIn user. I use LinkedIn for everything. I do have Instagram. I use 30 minutes link. 30minutes.com is my link for so that people can schedule meetings with me. And those are the two platforms I use. That's it.
All right, so we'll make sure to include those in the show notes. So, let's talk a little bit about how did you get there? So you're talking about you're on your third startup. You just mentioned you was like the second in your computer science. So let's talk about the journey here. So, how did you find your passion into tech or where did it take you? How did you get here?
Haha. Wow. So passion, I don't know.
Mm.
Okay. Although I'm a geek, and I think I am one of those who are just lucky and landed in the right space. Okay. I was like studying to be like, hey, my elder brother is a doctor, and he was studying medical, and I was like, I don't want to be a doctor, so hey, let's be engineer.
That's
And
only the natural other option, right?
and I was like, and then I did entrance exam, and then admission wise, my father looked around, talked to many people. Hey, what should he select? He has a choice for computer science, chemical, mechanical, electronics. I had a good rank, so I had a choice. And then many people advised him that he should do computer science. It's a new and upcoming field. Okay, it might become very big. It might do
It
very,
might, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm talking, 85, right? So 1985, this decision was made then. Wow, seems
Wow.
like history, right? So, and I got into computer science, and I tell you, the best decision, well, not my decision, but best decision in some way for my life to go get into computer science. And then I have been lucky also, very lucky. I worked for many companies, and I had very good bosses. So you know what career is all about: combination of projects you work on, your bosses, your peers, your colleagues, your everything is that is it. It's just lucky combination of all those things. I have been, I am very lucky. And so I learned, I grew, and I did my first startup in 2008, and we sold it to Monster, our
Oh,
software, and then we did one more, and then this is the third one, which is on AI,
oh,
AI as a service, tech of mind.
what was each each startup like? What? what did it entail?
They all start with one person. And I want to do this. And like the most famous saying, which I like, it's a cliche, but it's a good saying that I don't want to work 9 to 5 because I want to work 24/7. Okay. So, and I have been doing that, and that was my reason, like, the satisfaction um, to just do what you want to do, and you want to, so maybe that's the passion, that's the dream, that's the desire, right, to do something. And but I've been doing that. But computer science or tech, it has just it is now. Right now I'm most happy when I'm within 2 feet of my laptop. My laptop is far from me, I am not happy. Okay. Okay. And if I will survive on my phone, and but that's it.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. So I'm glad that you enjoy what you do and you were set up in like honestly a great environment from what it sounds like to really cultivate this like ideas from you. That is actually pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
So when it comes to, I guess, the ups and downs of it, when you were figuring out, because it was essentially due at your point of starting in, what was I guess, the learning curve that really hit the most? Was it the how fast the technology was changing, or was it changing fast at all? Is what you felt like? What do you think?
I think the biggest learning is, you know, do not get married to any idea too much.
Mm.
Okay. I'm married with my wife, and that is where I'm stable. Okay. And I want to be stable, and I like that stability. Okay. And I
Mhm.
love it. Okay. But idea of your startup, that's not a wife. Okay. So it's okay to change, and it will evolve, it will grow, and you will learn that what you started was horrible, or what you started was insufficient or not good enough, and that's okay. I think the biggest learning is you change, evolve, course correct, okay, take the direction which seems more logical or more right.
All right, that's some good advice. I know plenty of people who get stuck to like the one idea, the one thing that they're creating, and that's all they have to do when it's not necessarily working out. So,
Yes, I just read one saying, I don't, it's a Japanese saying. And the Japanese saying is, when you get on a train and you realize you are going in wrong direction, get out at the first stop. Otherwise, the U-turn will be longer. So,
it only makes sense, right? Like it's so
yes,
simple, but
so simple,
repeat it.
but so hard to do for people, right?
Mhm, mhm. That is honestly, you hitting us with the quotes early. Yeah, good advice for sure. Good advice for sure. So let's dive into one thing that what inspires you. Like what has inspired you along this? To get you have that stability with your wife. I hope she inspires you to keep this going.
Yes, oh, she does. I did my first book. I wrote my
Mhm,
first book, RTLS for Dummies, and my wife always like, "Hey, Ajay, you have only did undergrad. You need to do masters." And
mhm,
I'm like, it's hard to once you are in job, settled, making money, going back to school is almost impossible. Very difficult decision,
mhm.
right? And she was like, you have to do masters, okay? And I was like, and then this opportunity came along from Wiley, the yellow and black dummies books, like for
Yeah,
dummies.
I
And
have a couple back there. I have a good amount back
cool,
there.
right? So I got an opportunity to write, and I was like, I was to my wife, hey, if I write this book, because that's a lot of work. If I commit, will you treat it as like I did the masters and I'm okay? And she said, yes, okay, go for this. It took me more than 1 year, 1.5 year to do it. Very hard work, but and those were like non-chat GPT days. Imagine the research and everything. It was now it's like You can do anything. Like now we are sitting up with a, the genie lamp, but no, not have that. It was a lot of hard work, right? So, and I did that. And so, yeah, my wife is inspiring for everything, always. She pushing me to do better.
I was like, I feel like everybody needs that person in their life that continues to push them to do better. We all need accountability, you know?
Yeah,
So that's actually pretty good. And yeah, I love the For Dummies series. Like, I recommend it a lot. I have a bunch of the books back
very
there.
good. Yeah, they're
So
good books.
they
They
are.
have a good
And
format. Yes.
exactly, it's the format, it's the explanations that come with it. And honestly, even if it says For Dummies, it's not even a condescending thing. It's really just, hey, we're gonna break it down in every portion that we can, and you'll get the point by the end of this book. Like, you will understand it
You
through and
know what?
through.
If you are a wise man, you know you are dummy in something.
Yeah, right. We don't know everything. Like, we do not
Yeah.
know
Well,
everything.
now you know what? We know because you know what? I use my we loosely. We means me and my chat GPT bestie.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, okay. So one thing that we want to talk about for the next section is specifically what you do. So let's go through and kind of discuss your business, how did you make your
Oh, okay.
startup, and where we're at now with it. And then we can get into the questions on AI integration a little bit more specifically.
Very nice. We have built a platform, Studio X, my company, my team, amazing team. Okay. And we have built a platform, and this is a platform which is like, think of it as like an iPhone or Android, like kind of, we have hundreds of app ready made. You can deploy easily. And then, of course, there will be some custom linkage integration with your data sources or your workflow, stitching to what your use case is. But we have something so that we can get you up and running and have an AI for anything, something you want. Not anything, but some things, because we don't have everything, of course, for knowledge base, knowledge sharing in the company, or for lead management, or for your sales forecast, or supply chain, or some predictive maintenance. So you can do that and do that in matter of weeks. So that's what our platform allows them. And we have customers, we have startups, companies of like 6 people to companies of 35,000 people, many for Fortune 500s we are working with. So it has been a good journey, and thank God, it's going good.
All right, okay. So let's get into like the deepness of it here. So Byron is here with us in spirit. He is currently sick, so he did list out some questions that he really wanted to ask you.
Sure.
And this is on customer service type of things. So could you elaborate on the AI solutions that are most effective in enhancing the customer service experience? So how do they work? You know, what benefits have you noticed from them being implemented within companies?
Very nice. Customer service is one of the, well, I think I would say second easiest AI application for the company. And they can deploy it very quickly and really gain benefit. Like we deployed it for a company. I'll give you a real life example, and then we will talk about how and more. Okay.
Mhm.
This company used to get like 8,000 tickets every year, support tickets, like people calling and or emailing it, hey, I have this problem and blah blah blah, and help me, right? And they had outsourced it to a company who would charge per ticket fixed price, about
Mm.
$40 fixed price per ticket solution. Okay, it doesn't matter that there are a lot of companies like that who will do
Oh.
that. They are like outsourced service company or support company. Okay. And now this company, you need to train those people because they need to be they need to know the product, they need to
Mhm.
understand how the issues are resolved. It will take time, it may take hours to 3 to 4 days to resolve a ticket, right? Because when the ticket is opened, and it's a cost also,
Mhm.
right? Then we put AI for their customer service, in which the people can open tickets in a chat, or they can send email for opening ticket, or and then what will happen is the AI will respond itself using the customer information and the knowledge and everything, and try to resolve the ticket. communicate with the user and resolve the ticket over emails back and forth. You will not even realize you are not talking to a human. And so then what happened? Over 60% of tickets resolved only by AI without adding a human in the loop.
Wow.
Yeah, see, now you can see you're saving money, you are saving, you're building efficiency, and and not this now, like the people they had in customer support, they could do more because, and so they could work the 40% tickets still require human, but now those resolution time will go down because those people have more time to do the work. So you get a better customer service to your customers because either the tickets are resolving much fast, super fast using AI, or less slow because now the humans are actually able to pay attention to it. So that's the advantage. And then, of course, you don't need to put all your people through all the training because AI is learning. AI has learned how the past tickets are solved. It's using that information. So that is one of the biggest benefit of customer support through AI, where it's a virtual agent solving the things. There is one other use case in customer support, which we call agent assist. And agent assist is people will still talk to people, but the person on the customer support side will talk to a bot to get the help so
Oh.
that they can respond better to the customer. And that makes a huge difference. So people get still the satisfaction of talking to a person because there is something to be said about it, right? Like there is a value in when you talk to a bot or you talk to a person. Okay.
Mhm.
And sometimes you need a person. And I think a lot of times you need a person. But if that person becomes capable or able to help because they have a bot on the side, that makes experience for everybody better. The end customer is happy because now it's not like, oh, I'm talking to a customer support, but he or she was a rookie, or she was a
Mhm.
trainee, or she just started, or she didn't know anything, or all those things go away because now, because of the agent assist, all of your customer support agent technicians are knowledgeable. They have a bestie on their side. Okay, so that's the, who knows the product, who knows the customer, who can talk about it in a very different, meaningful way. That's the advantage. So, that virtual agent or agent assist, and then lot of analytics, lot of operational work, prioritizing tickets, categorizing automatically, understanding what kind of tickets are happening, what are the problems people are facing, and AI pushing back that information for product management to build roadmaps. Everything can be, the AI is really helpful in customer service this way.
Okay, let me ask you about this because we talk a lot about, they have to learn the data in order to act on it. Have you ever, do you ever feel like there is a insufficient amount of data to use for the knowledge base that you ran across? Say it's a smaller company, they're trying to figure out what all they need, but they've they're looking to integrate AI very early on and they just don't have the data sufficient to actually solve the problems that they're looking for. Have you ever ran across that?
We used to run it across a lot, but the approach has changed. So few years back, a lot of our approach was based around big data. Okay. And it was painful because I need the big data. Without the big data, I can't solve it because everything was creating a formula to fit your data, right?
Mhm.
And like, you know what, I show you 100 pictures of dogs so that next time I show you a picture of dogs, you will say, yes, it's a dog, right? Right. So the way AI worked in big data world was, like I say, if you have never asked a girl out, you will never ask a girl out because it's on the past. You can never deviate. Okay. So formula is very well defined, right? It will fit. The model always fits. However, when you go to the new world has two sides to it. One is big data, and second is small data. And when I say small data, I'm talking about generative. I'm talking about understanding the rules. So I don't need all the time rules. You can describe your rules in English, and that's good enough because I can understand the context and then I can understand the data based on your rules. So even if you have less data, but if you understand the problem space, so I give you an example. a ticket opens and I want to characterize, is it a urgent ticket or is it a high or medium or low priority ticket?
Okay.
How do you do that? Okay, the experience based on the past data, right? Like,
Mhm.
hey, when this happens, this, right? But generally, the formulas are very simple. Oh, it's urgent is means there is no workaround, the customer is stuck, right? Like, hey, I have a smart home and my lights are blinking, neither my app works, neither my switch works, now I'm stuck, it's critical, please come and fix now. Or like, hey, I am locked out, my lock doesn't work, my fingerprint doesn't work, door doesn't open, urgent,
Mhm.
urgent,
Okay.
right? Think like this, right?
Mhm.
But there is a rule, so I can have big data, but how much big data, right? Every problem has to be described then, right?
Mhm.
Like if you have water leakage like this, every problem, it's very hard to describe every problem in big data. You may not have enough big data. You are a new company for support, you just started your business. How will you, based on the ticket, characterize that you should send your service agent right away or you can wait, right? But this is where the small data or generative AI helps. You can start with small data. You will have a rule that if the person has no workaround and all services are something which is bothering continuously and there is no solution in any path, it's an urgent ticket. See, you can describe the
Oh.
rules. That's the difference. So you don't have to worry about big data problem. So now, even if the company doesn't have big data, it's okay because there is a way. So it's not a real problem now. It used to be a problem, but
Oh, okay.
generative AI helps you. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm glad that you mentioned that because a lot of the conversations that we've been having, at least on the podcast, talks about, putting in big data is spitting out the stuff that is learned rather than like being able to cultivate a actual experience for you without all the information it has. Like you set up your rules in place, like you mentioned. So I'm glad that we
Yeah, it's like this. I
Mhm.
give you an example. A little baby learns Z for zebra and how it's zebra, white and black stripes, animal, right? Looks like a horse with its white and black stripes, zebra, right? Guess, do we show a 1 million picture of zebra to the baby so that in the future they can recognize zebra? No. Very few. And a rule is formed in your brain that if you have white and black stripes like this, it's zebra. You see a bed sheet, you say, oh, it's a zebra print. You see a fish like that, it's a zebra fish, right? You don't need to see all those examples because the real life does not work on big data. Real life is a mix and match. Sometimes it's the big data. I have seen every day, every Monday afternoon, traffic is so bad on North 101. And you know what? That's my big data example, right? But small data could be, oh, you know what? Every Independence Day, there is no traffic on the road. And maybe I traveled only 2 times on Independence Day, and that's good enough. Small or the zebra, it's a good enough. I saw it 2 times. Somebody said that's zebra, that's good enough. And everything I see, any animal I see, I will say it's a zebra. That's the thing, right? Big data works differently, small data works differently, but as humans, we use both. And I
Mhm.
think now AI is capable of using both by making use of generative AI along with big data. It changes the game.
Ooh, it really does. So, okay, let me see what else he asked that we didn't answer because I feel like we're going through his
Oh,
question.
yeah, yeah.
So let me see. Okay, we talked about it from a external standpoint and also how it can be leveraged internal. But can you give a couple more examples of processes within organizations that are benefiting the most from automation internally within their internal system?
Of of course, internal help desk that will
Mhm.
get benefit right away. Knowledge, so difficult. You know what? A new engineer joins. They don't know. A new employee doesn't know everything, right? And it's for a new employee, it's very hard. You know what? If you're older, probably might be easier for you to ask, maybe. But when you are like new, right? Like my kids, they are just like, they don't even want to open their mouth, right? Asking
Mhm.
questions. They're afraid of
Mhm.
its new environment, new culture, new office, right? New setting. Hard to ask questions. So you know what? For a new employee, new person, it becomes very hard. But if you have a bot to help you with the knowledge, you have your bestie at your work who can ask you question. Hey, did I do my code right? Check your code. Did I do my document right? Give me, how should I do this? They were talking about something like this. How do we do that? What is the best practice for this? All that knowledge, if you could get answers easy, that
Mhm.
becomes a very good workplace productivity thing. Okay. Then another good thing in the productivity is the quality. How do you check the quality, or how do you optimize, whether that could be test plans or it could be monitoring, using camera or something, right? You can do so many. AI is an assistant. AI
Mhm.
is a true assistant which is helping every employee or manager. You know what? Half the time, oh, I need to get this data. Oh, I know George can do this. George knows how to use that tool or how to make those graphs or how to create that report. I don't know. It will take me a lot of time. And George is off until 2 days. Let's just wait and then we will work on it. No, no need. Now you talk to the AI. Hey, how is that done? And it gets you the data, fetches you the data without you having dependence on one single person or two people, or knowing how to use a tool or process. This is where AI is a very high productivity tool because it makes your information gathering, it makes your decision support, all the analytics easier. Everything is at your fingertips. It helps you to monitor quality, monitor safety in the business. It helps you do predictive maintenance for your machines. It helps you learn how to troubleshoot something. It helps with everything. If you do some A business has like tons of hats people are wearing, or there are different people in different roles doing it. AI can help everybody, whether it's like understanding, whether it's predicting, whether it's finding recommended solution or troubleshooting. AI is helpful. That's how I see.
Ooh, okay, so in this mix of this, there is the person who has to learn to ask the questions to get an answer that makes sense, right? Is there a certain format that's very typical to be able to, input information and actually get what you're looking for back? Because when we had to learn to use Google, there's a specific way,
Yeah,
you got to search for stuff, right?
you are
So,
right. And you know
mhm.
what? So I would give one advice. Okay. Try to be less open or ambiguous and be more explicit in your question. Think like this. You have to treat AI like a 7-year-old child who has all the knowledge and is excited to give you an answer. Okay. So if you ask a question, you will get an answer back. Answer may not be the right unless your question had enough boundaries and question had less ambiguity. It's like this, if I say, hey, I am seeing this issue, is this relevant? And now relevant is a very ambiguous word.
Yeah.
Relevant can mean so many things to so many people. Okay. It's the same thing. You know what? Like, it's like location. Where are you? I'm here. Okay. And when I say I'm here, that answer means very different things when I'm talking to different people. When I talk to
Mhm.
my mom in India, she understands I'm in US. Okay, so the US is here, the whole America is here, right? When I'm talking to my wife, I'm here, I'm in office probably, right? So and she's assuming I'm in office, right? Or when I'm outside the home, is after like evening, like she's expecting me home, and she says, "Where are you?" And I'm saying, "I'm here." Means I have landed, I'm next to the home. So every word can be interpreted differently. So when you're talking to AI, try to be as much uh, clear and explicit what you are looking for. AI will give good answers. So you know what? The only thing is I will say is don't be lazy in writing your ask. The more descriptive you are, the most amazing answer you will get back.
I'm learning that too. I'm out here utilizing like Meta's Llama. So I'm in the process of figuring out how I'm trying to structure a question. I am running a 5K in a couple of weeks, and I decided that I'm going to let it create my workout plan. I haven't ran in a minute, so I have 4 weeks. I have 4 weeks to prepare. So initially it was coming up with a workout plan for people who are already like running, who are active. Because I was just like, hey, create me, a 4-week plan to run a 5K. And it was saying, go out and start sprinting, preparing. I was like, hold up. Hold up. I'm starting from zero.
Yeah,
I had to be specific about beginner. I also created like a little diet plan as well. Just like I don't want to lose weight. I don't care to gain. I just want to maintain throughout this process. So I had to be very specific with like my ask. So, and
yes.
during that, I got to an answer that was suitable for me, but it did take a minute because I just wasn't asking the more descriptive or more defined things to get me to what I'm looking for.
Very
So,
nice. You know what? And that's the thing. And you will learn, right? And this is the thing, right? Like, and then it can become annoying. The real problem is this. You talk to ChatGPT or any other tool you use.
mm-hmm,
Now you have to give all the information every time and all your knowledge every time. How do you do that? It's impossible. You know what? As a human, I will get nah, I can't do that. And that's where we get really bad answers or bad responses. And this is where our tool, like my company, the platform comes in because we are creating a knowledge base and knowledge and the context that can be used and it stores it. It is stored, it remains active, and you can collaborate on it. So this way, you know what? I'm not entering everything every time. And
mm-hmm,
it is using that information for the tools and it becomes creates a consistency across the team and they can share and work using the AI in a similar way and using it and without being like, I have to type so much to get this much answer. Because you know what, the risk of getting a wrong answer is very high if you do not give all the data. That's the problem. And so
mm-hmm,
there is a one thing I will say, so there is a huge value of human in the loop.
mm-hmm.
Do not discount that. Nobody should discount it. I think there is a human in the loop first 15% when you are like to frame the problem, and then there is a last uh, 15% which is like after the AI has given you answer and you 70% middle for the AI to do it. Frame the problem perfectly, get the answers, review it, loop again until you get the best answer.
It's a trial and error. One day it's gonna be you don't even have to explain that thoroughly. You'll get exactly what you're looking
Yeah,
for.
it will.
One thing I have seen is like getting multiple answers for something, and you kind of just go through pick the best one, and that at least helps with the if you don't have such a very explicit question. But
Yes,
how often are we going to read multiple things? Like if something was to output like 10 responses for one question,
yes.
nobody's going to go through all of that.
That's the key. That's the key.
So let me see what else we have. Okay, so here's another one. Whereas how can AI driven insights improve our understanding of customer needs and preferences? Like what type of data patterns should we focus on to gain actionable insights?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Oh, what AI driven insights improve our understanding of customer needs and preferences? So pretty much what is the information that is like constantly being learned that actually gives us actions as people, basically.
Ah, this is, you know what, when you are doing with customers, dealing with customers, the biggest thing is to understanding the level of knowledge of the customer
Mhm.
and understanding how the customer likes the answers.
Oh,
So, and this is where even sometimes ChatGPT fails. Okay. So the problem is it can ChatGPT, I'm sure you have used it, it can overwhelm you, right? When you are looking
mhm.
for something and it like it does a word vomit.
Yes. Yes.
Am I right? Right?
It's like
And
I don't
that,
need the entire history background of something when I'm asking a question.
yes, right? Give me just this answer, and it
Mhm.
goes into a word vomit, right? I have like, and I tell it, almost feed it all the time. I do not need the word vomit. I do not remember. Don't overwhelm me, okay? To control it, right? But
Mhm.
customers in interactions, you don't want to annoy them. You don't want to frustrate them. When people are working with ChatGPT, it's okay. You know what? Because they are doing on their own, so they're dealing with the B2C product. It's fine.
Mhm.
But when you are the business, you cannot you cannot risk to overwhelm your customers. You cannot risk to give them incorrect answers. You cannot risk that every time they ask who is the president and you get a different answer, right?
Mhm.
Customers expect consistency. Customers expect some behaviors, some decorum, and everybody is different. And so, to personalize that experience based on the level or knowledge of customer, the kind of interaction, the style they want, that is the key. And if they that is the key, and you have to get into when you are understanding from customer, the most important thing is to understand what are the top three things the customer is always trying to ask or understand. Oh, the customer does not. This customer is very detail oriented. They want details. They want more proof. Why?
Mhm.
Why? Give me the reasoning. Oh, this customer doesn't. This customer just wants yes, no, Boolean answers. Give me that. Okay, the customer is asking yes, no, and I'm giving like, boom, not gonna work, right?
Mhm.
So you have to align with the customer's expectation, and it can be done. But I think that's the value. So you have to really, when the customers with customer interaction, the key thing is get into the style of communication, amount of answers, type of answers the customer expects.
When you said like the decorum, it's like how every business has like a way that it acts, a culture that it has, and like they want to express that. You can go to a chat bot and it's like, "Hey, how are you?" Like it's just asking questions, even though it's like a computer at the end of the day.
You know
But
what?
it's at least.
I always say hi. I have no thanks. You know what? Because
Mhm.
I think we have grown up like that. And
Yeah.
you know what? And we talk, and I'm like always, sometimes my team makes fun of me. They say, "Oh, Ajay, you are the only one who is always starting with hi." But yes, I start with hi. It has no meaning. That hi has no meaning. Probably they are right, but you know what? But that hi is a thing. It
Mhm.
works and
It adds to the customer service part though, because think of a lot. We talk about different businesses with their own kind of brand and interaction with people. you know, I feel like businesses that are integrating AI, they can set themselves up for some great customer service. Like they could check ins, make sure everything's good.
and
I don't mind when I'm going out to reach out for some support is where the AI bot is, checking in to say, hey, how can I help you? Or just instead of just, ask your question. It's just kind of setting the premise for um opening some
yeah,
connection
no,
to
no,
really
no. It
be
is.
I'm
It
open
is.
to using this product.
You know what? And I think, well, I think it's person to person.
Yeah,
I almost forget when I'm interacting with AI that it's not human, right? It's like
right.
I'm almost brainstorming, I'm chatting and discussing, right? And I think it works. I think you can be emotional, you can be honest, you can be open, and you can be explicit in your what you're looking for. You will get the help. And if not, start a new conversation.
It's just, no, it won't be no feelings hurt at the end of the
No
day,
feeling hurt.
though.
It's like there is no baggage.
All right, what else can I see real quick? Let me see. Okay, so this seems like it might be on the business side, but you can talk like from your perspective and like your clientele. So, what metrics or key performance indicators should we use to evaluate the success of AI integration in the business? So, I know you talked about, tickets going from 60% being resolved. So, are there any other metrics that, people will monitor to know like, hey, this product is working for sure?
You mean the AI product is working for sure? Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, well, that is a like ROI is very clear in the tickets getting resolved and people feeling happy. But I think you can have the accuracy. People try
Mm-hmm.
accuracy and consistency. So you know what, like we do it also. We automate the testing, and by asking the same 300 questions I asked in January, we still ask every day to see are we getting the same answers or something is messed up, right? So consistency is very important, right? Because people expect consistency more than anything else. Okay. If you're wrong, please be wrong all the times, every time. Then it's okay. But if you are, if you one day you say good morning at 9 a.m. and next day you say good afternoon, third day you say good evening, then I don't know what's going on. Okay.
Mhm.
So consistency is key. So people look for that accuracy of consistency, and that is a very good metrics people use. Okay. Then the other metrics is, are you really learning? Are
Mhm.
you actively learning from your experience? It's like I told you something or something happened, and did you learn from it or not? And is the learning real time or not? Okay.
Mhm.
Another KPI. Okay. How real time is your learning? You know, you can say, oh, all the knowledge was updated on September 22, 2023. No, not gonna work. Okay. I need to know if my knowledge is up to date. Like, something learned 1 minute back, is that still in the knowledge? Is it already being used or not? Right? And then, so KPI wise, as you're asking, consistency of accuracy, your response time, your uh, real time learning, your active learning, right? Your ability to work with a large amount of data. How much data can you ingest and can you work with it, right? And then privacy and security, right? Like, is all data encrypted? Are you like data? Is there any data leak in any circumstance or things like that? Very, very important. And then, of course, in is because you cannot have data leak, one customer data going to another customer, missing, like, because I'm using the knowledge and I leaked it. Oh yes, she had this issue, and and give the name away, right? Or
Mhm.
company name away or something, right? Which is
Mhm.
not, so strict boundaries between that. So there are bunch of KPIs for to know that the AI is really the right tool. Okay. So privacy, security, consistency, responsiveness, performance, right? Response time, and then the real time learning, active learning, then forgetting. Is it capable of forgetting something that was wrong, right? Very important KPI, because, hey, I'm telling you, this is not correct. And next time it still gives the answer from that, then you have a problem,
Mhm.
because I told you and you are still going back, right? And that will be problematic, because now you keep feeding wrong information even when you know what is the right information, right? Things like that. And what else will be a good KPI which we see? Mm, oh, as a on premise, is it fully installable? Is the data can be like everything could run on your premise, nothing in cloud,
Mhm.
because cloud can be hacked.
Mhm.
So you know what? Yes, you know what? Like, we also do state-of-the-art security, and hosting an on-prem solution may not be cost-wise feasible for everybody, because it's an additional cost, right?
Mhm.
But if you are a big company, big enterprise company, I think it's good to see that if do you have that option. So focus on that also. I think those things make solution good. It's a good solution.
Okay. Okay. So I do want to ask about because I was just about to ask you about the forgetting part. Like, how often does AI typically forget like those wrong answers? Because we talked about hallucinations like a while back where they'll give you an answer, but it's not entirely right. You got to kind of keep learning and training it. So the security aspect, say, so security and forgetfulness is kind of hand in hand if it was to, happen, right? Is there when we talk about the rules, so is there a rule like say, hey, it's saying something it shouldn't be saying and it needs to forget that? Is there like a rule in place for that? Like what does that look like when you're setting it up on the back end?
You set it up, you create those, you add those rules, you add, that's the software, you add one more layer of AI model on top of it, so that you are not providing the answers you should not. So you have to think like this, like firewall. In
Mm-hmm.
software computers, you have firewall, right? In networks, right? Hey, so the data cannot be accessed, right? Same thing. You have to be able to define those boundaries and say this, everything, the data that is going out has to cross this boundary, and some data cannot. And that is it. Or some data should not be used for even stipulating an answer. So, like, so think like this. You have data. And from the data, you look at the data and figure out what is the data that you want to even consider for an answer. And that's where the process starts. This is the data we should consider for answer. Oh no, these are the things which are I should not. So let's forget these things and let's
Mhm.
use this. That is one way to do. Other way to do it is this is my answer. Oh, but I cannot say this or this or this. So, okay, remove that. So you have to figure out at what level. I think it's
Mhm.
better to do it at an ingest time so that you don't even consider the data which I should not consider. Or but sometimes it's not about ingesting, sometimes it's negating. Like I always thought red plus yellow makes orange, right? And now somebody told me, no, 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 red plus yellow does not make orange, makes pink, let's say. Just, I know
Mhm.
it's wrong.
Yeah.
But if I want to do that, then I want it to forget that red plus yellow is orange. And
Mhm.
and I cannot just retrain everything. So I have to somehow add that knowledge that red plus yellow is pink, somehow that has
Mhm.
to be prioritized over the old knowledge so that the if somebody asks, hey, what is the what the color I will get when I get red and yellow? And it has
Mhm.
to answer pink. Then you know your AI is working and it was able to forget which it had always learned. So these rules have to be added in such a way, and that's where like little bit intellectual property or how you are doing the stuff
Mhm.
matters, because so that you can make sure your answer is correct
Oh,
based on.
okay. So in the mid, I'm thinking about like how AI is like cycling through information, like it's continuously cycling through so much information. In my mind, it's like how long would it take to essentially learn that and forget the rest or
Oh,
prioritize that? So like the time, it depends on the model, it depends on the checkpoint. So like how it
it
depends on the
depends.
processing,
Yeah,
like yeah.
it depends upon the policy. It depends
Mm,
upon your policy. Your policy can be, it is a policy thing. Okay.
right.
It's the policy could be based on the feedback from users. Policy is based on the feedback or the configuration by the administrator, because at the end, human is in the loop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a human who is defining that what you said is the wrong answer, or I want you to forget. Somebody is feeding that information. And then if you are feeding that information as a feedback or a extra layer of knowledge, that is what helps everybody decide whether they should AI should stop learning or forget it or not. It is the policy. It's a configured policy, as simple as that.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that like clarification there. One of the things I know we're reaching time, but I
I know,
definitely
yes.
if you have some more time, I want to get through like all the questions. Like
I I have a meeting at 4,
okay,
sorry.
okay. So let's go through this part. So how can others get to where you are? What are like 3 to 5 tips you would like to share for those listening? And this is like our next up generation that's learning how to get into this field.
I would say there is no substitute for hard work. Okay. I think work hard and don't get demotivated, because solution answers may not be you may not get them right away. It takes
Mhm.
time sometime. Course correct, as I said earlier also. Make sure course correct is part of your process. It's okay. Don't sit on a train because, oh, I sat on this train, so I will keep going in, because U-turn will be longer. That's all I will say. Work hard, course correct is okay, work hard, and solution answer may not be obvious right away.
All right. And what is a motivating cycle quote that you would like to leave us off with today?
One of the thing I learned in Google, and I really believe in it and use it, is think big, start small, scale fast.
Mm.
So think very big, but don't try to boil the ocean in your first attempt of what you are building. Big, start very small, but then scale fast. You should have velocity to keep growing and make it the big you want it to. I think then you will be very successful. At least you will feel good.
Well, I am glad that you came onto the podcast today. I feel like our AI talk here was one of the best. It was so in detailed and it kind of painted a picture of how it all works on the back end, and hopefully it did for our listeners. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to be insightful in technology. And thank you, Ajay, for coming onto the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Really enjoyed this. Thank you.